It's got to be cold on Christmas.
Right. It's going to be, because we always go to my in-laws for Christmas Eve, and they're kind of out in the country, from us, 20 miles away, but they're more rural. And yeah, I'm just dying for some snow, but it ain't happening. It's going to be 72. So I guess I'm going to wear shorts. It's like, if it's going to be that warm, I'm wearing shorts for Christmas Eve for the novelty of it. So yeah, I'm going to have my
Hawaiian shirt in there.
Exactly. I'm going to have fun.
Right. Yeah.
Watch some football and some shorts. All right. Hey, Jeff. All right. So this will be for Monday. This will be so 2 days after Christmas. Christmas is for Saturday.
It's Saturday. Yeah.
I don't know what day of the week it is right now. It's Wednesday.
It's weird that it's on a weekend. Kind of like throws me off, actually.
Or people, this is what my wife and I were saying. So people that have like typical jobs, I don't even know what it's like anymore.
Yeah.
Everybody's off Monday, right? You should be off Monday because
no, you actually get. So the way my work does it is you do Friday because the holiday is a Saturday. Because we don't get I don't get, because I'm healthcare, so I don't get Eve off.
Oh, so it's Friday.
You get Friday off. If it was Sunday, you would get the Monday.
Okay. See, yeah.
I don't. That's how we do it.
That's when I taught, I got 2 weeks off. Now that I work for myself, I get 0 days off. So, but I can't complain. I work from home. Whatever. I just go down the basement and plan Disney trips. That's not too hard.
Yeah.
It's busy, but it's not. I can't complain. I don't do report cards, and I don't deal with angry parents. So there you go.
I deal with the latter sometimes, but it's okay. It's okay.
Yes, Core of Amber. I did figure out it's not on my personal YouTube account. I switched it back over to the Be Our Guest. I don't know how that got changed, but it did. And hey, Margie. Okay, here we go for Monday, 2015. Here we go.
2015,
Yeah, episode 2015.
Oh.
No, I know it's 2021, but it's episode 2015. I know it's all kinds of confusing. Yeah, it's a Christmas miracle. And it's a Christmas be over. Okay, here we go. And my stomach's growling, so hopefully this good mic doesn't pick that up. Too close to dinner. Okay, here we go. Welcome to episode 2015 of the Be Our Guest Walt Disney World Trip Planning Podcast. I'm your host, Mike Rallman from BeOurGuestPodcast.com and one of the senior agents over at the Magic for Less Travel. Happy Monday to you, and hope you had a wonderful Christmas with your friends and family. Hope Santa was good to you. Hopefully you didn't find that coal in the stocking or under the tree. I don't know. Does Santa still do the coal thing? I don't know. Fossil fuels and all that stuff. Who knows? Yeah. Hopefully you got what you wanted. And more importantly, you got to have some relaxing time this past weekend with friends and family. I bet you ate too much. Maybe you watched too much football, but who knows? Maybe the football games were canceled. I don't know. We record this too early. We did this ahead of time. And so things are so fluid here in the 2020s and this time in the last 2 years. I don't even know what's happening, but I know that I hope you had a great Christmas, and we're back here on a Monday during this. This is that week where you probably don't know what day of the week it is, but just checking in, it is Monday if you downloaded this right away. But with the podcast, it could be any day of the week. So anyway, we're just here with a fun trip report to kind of mark the week, and we're going to have a good time. Heading down to Texas, where I bet they have a warm Christmas typically, down in the greater Houston area. And we have Nicole joining us today. Nicole, how's it going? Merry Christmas still. I consider it still Christmas until New Year's. So Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I know. I was going to wear my Christmas ears, but I was like, it's okay. I went with the rose gold, but no, it's going good.
Yeah, got to keep it going. It's one of those things. I've heard, I listen to a lot of podcasts, some retro like top podcasts where they talk about, Christmases from the past, stuff like that. I've heard some people throw out their Christmas trees like the day after Christmas, or, the afternoon of Christmas Day. I mean, we keep the tree up at least through New Year's, probably even, the couple days after New Year's, because I like to enjoy it. I mean, how's it go for your household?
Yeah, we keep it up for a little while. I mean, literally the song 12 Days of Christmas starts on Christmas. Okay. So, and it goes through what you call Epiphany for Catholics out there. And so you're supposed to keep your stuff up that long.
See, I'm Baptist. I knew the 12 Days of Christmas, lots of birds, expensive stuff. I don't know. I just like to keep it up. I still got the train under the tree upstairs. The monorail finally conked out. I need to get a new monorail. So this year it was the traditional.
We didn't put the monorail out this year. It takes up a lot of space. It's wide.
It is.
Yeah. And so my house just looks so empty when I take all my stuff down. So I keep it up for a while.
Right. And we have, Riley the super dog, Paige's dog stays here during basketball season for Mizzou. And the thing is, like, she gets all confused when the tree goes up. And then when the tree comes down, that's her. Actually, we put the tree in her spot where she usually has her bed.
Oh, yeah.
She's, I don't know if she's happy or just, like, hey, what's going on? Like, my spot's back. So it is kind of confusing for all of us, including the animals. So
right.
We'll see how it goes. All right. So let's talk about your trip. But before we do that, let's hop into some of your Disney history. You say you listen to the Be Our Guest podcast in the car, heading off to work sometimes. You listen to other Disney podcasts. We talked about Kevin and Matt and all kinds of stuff before we got recording. So why are you such a big Disney fan? What's kind of your backstory when it comes to Disney?
Well, I grew up going to Disney. My parents brought me when I was about 4, so mid 80s. And then funny story, the next year, so I went to Disney World, was stay at like a Howard Johnson or something. And then we went to Disneyland, and my mom will tell this story to everyone. She's like, she was such a brat. She like walked in and was like, well, that castle's small. And so,
okay.
and so we went to Disneyland, and then I think we took like a little bit of a break, and then there for a while we went about every other year. So we went to like Dixie Landings I've stayed at before it became Port Orleans Riverside, and then we did All-Star Movies, and Disney was such a big part of my family growing up. I mean, we had all the VHSs, finally, when I was like in 5th or 6th grade, I had to tell my mom to stop buying me Disney clothes for a while. Like, I was too old for that stuff. And then really, like, I went off to college, got married, and I kind of was like out of sight, out of mind. My husband, we did a lot of like the tropical vacations, Jamaica, Turks. And once we had my son, I was like, we really, when do we want to go to Disney? And he's like, well, I hadn't been since like 1989. So, and I hadn't been at that point since I think my last trip was like 99. And so we decided to take my son, and my parents went along, and my daughter stayed here because she was still really small. And I just didn't want to do all that. So if you decided to bring your baby, you go for it. I just chose not to do that at this point in time because we hadn't been in so long. And then it just kind of re-sparked everything. I think when you have kids, it's just such a different ball game, and all the nostalgia and just everything comes back. And my husband really doesn't understand that. That's why I enjoy my podcast, because you guys get it. But then we kind of got hooked, and then we kind of started, thinking about joining DVC, even though we stayed at Caribbean Beach that first time, and kind of just started doing the math, and we were like, if we're going to do this, let's just do it. And we kind of just went all in. And then 2 years later, we did our first DVC stay at Copper Creek. And from then on out, I think I went 3 or 4 times during the pandemic, which sounds crazy, but we'd gotten annual passes because we knew we were coming back that next year. And then the flights and everything were just so reasonable. And then you got annual pass discount on top of that for some of your rooms. So it was, my mom and I took a girls trip last December for my birthday, and it just kind of went from there. And so I can't get enough of it. My husband probably can, and that's okay. But, and my kids love it. My son wants to be an Imagineer, which I'm sure every kid that loves Disney wants to be an Imagineer too. So I'm just like, whatever, just to spur that creativity, that's fine. But yeah, we love going. It's the one vacation that I truly unplug. And I know that sounds kind of ironic, but when I'm the type of person, if I'm just like laying on the beach or something, I'm still going to look at my phone, check emails, and I still do that. But I guess because I'm busy and I'm just taking it all in, it really does get my mind off the everyday.
So let me ask you this though, because you mentioned unplugging, and with how Disney is changing now, you can't really unplug, but you're saying kind of unplug from the real world, because now
Yeah.
you do have to, because some people are going to be like, oh, you can't unplug because
Yeah.
now you have to be on My Disney Experience. And,
Right.
we're not going to jump, because this trip that we're going to talk about today focused on was like last spring,
Yeah.
because we're going to talk about folks that maybe are looking to go here for the Flower and Garden Festival coming up here very soon. I can't believe it's going to be January next week.
Yeah.
But it is kind of hard to, to not use a smart device while you're down there, but it is a little bit easy to kind of detach from the real world and just immerse yourself in the magic, or the bubble, as we call it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that's what it is. It's truly a bubble. I mean, we are that family, like, we vacation, we want somebody to cook my food, somebody, like, I don't want to do all that. Even though we're DVC, I still don't do a lot of that. And I will delete my work email off my phone so it's not dinging at me, or I don't see that little.
You know what? I do sorry to interrupt, but I do the exact same thing. I have this thing, because my work is almost exclusively via email. Working as a travel agent, my guests, when they have something, they either text me or email me. Rarely is it a phone call unless it's a extreme emergency. But when I'm on vacation, I do make it very clear that I have an autoresponder that I let my guests know, I'll be out of the office for the next 7 days. This is my time to spend with my family. It's important to me. And I do the same thing. Like, my email is usually front and center on my phone. During my vacation, that app is nowhere to be seen. I don't even have it visible. And the thing is, because every once in a while you'll get a situation where, like, the airline will say, we sent this to your email, or, Disney itself will say, check your email for this confirmation. And I'll be like, because I don't know, you kind of sounds like maybe your personality is similar to mine. Like, even though I have another agent or two covering all my emails while I'm on vacation, shout out to Ben and Kathy and Jocelyn and Jeanette and everybody who does that for me. But the thing is, I don't like to even open the email, because I don't want to see, like, oh, you have 142 emails, because I'm like an inbox zero person. Like, I have to have everything squared away before I can actually, go watch a football game. And then after the game's over, I go back at it and clear it out again. That's me. So when I'm on vacation, I don't want, that's me unplugging. Like, I don't even want to look at it for 7 days. Then when I get to the airport, I kind of open it up and triage things,
I mean, I just want to step away from work. And
right.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done Genie Plus yet. I'm a little anxious. I mean, and honestly, it's like, for the next trip, who knows what, I don't even know. Like, who knows? But I just don't want that. I just don't want to be able to engage in any type of conversation with work or anything like that. It's the one time my kids actually say, Mom's actually really fun when she goes to Disney. So.
Not stressed, because I mean, my job, it is fun planning Disney vacations. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I want everybody to know that it's a lot less stressful than, teaching 25 kids all year long how to do math, how to read, and managing all the expectations, the standards, the objectives. It's great. But the thing is, it's an intense job, because, you're trying to get everybody squared away, and it's from 7:30 in the morning, and I'm still working at 10 o'clock at night. I'm at Walt Disney World. I am all in with the family. I'm just totally, I'm playing. I'm a different personality there, because I don't have to worry about anything. Like, I have to worry about checking my email ever. It's great. The same thing. It's great. And I think that is what I hope for everybody that goes to Walt Disney World. I know it's not possible for everybody, but that's my hope, is that the kids, if you have kids, or your significant other, that you get to have those moments where, wow, like, we are having a great time that we never have at home. You get that opportunity. That's a great point.
Yep.
All right, well, let's hop into the trip. So you mentioned you guys went down in March. So tell us about the crew and the pre-planning, because that's half the battle / half the fun, however you look at it.
So it was my husband and I, my 10-year-old son and my 6-year-old daughter, and my 2 parents, and my husband's mom and his 3 sisters. So there was 10 of us. My husband's family hadn't been since 1989. And when they went, my father-in-law is a dentist, and he went down for like a convention for continuing ed. And so I still am really not sure where they stayed. They're not, I think they had some sort of like villa type situation, but that was before DVC was even finished. And so, but yeah, they had like meal tickets and all this crazy stuff. But yes, they have not been in a while. And so we kind of decided that we were going to go. And obviously this was like a year and a half kind of with this big of a group, planning and all that kind of stuff. So obviously prior to the world shutting down, I was a little sad when we still obviously decided to go, but we couldn't do some of the things that, like previous trips we've done, Pirates and Pals, and some of those like really special firework things. And we couldn't do that this time, which I really wanted to be able to share with them. Because I think when you're bringing people that haven't been, you just want them to be as excited as you are. And you're really just trying to make it the most magical trip that it can be. And that was difficult because I couldn't share some of those things with them.
Right. And I agree. I mean, the thing is, like, everybody knows, oh yeah, I want to ride Pirates of the Caribbean, or it's going to be fun to ride the teacups at the Magic Kingdom. Everybody sees that in the commercials. But when you pull out something like a fireworks cruise, that's where you can win people over, because they have no idea you can do that. You never hear about it, you never see it. And that's one of the things people go home and say, guess what we did?
No idea. Yeah. I mean, that fireworks cruise, let me tell you, you have your 4-year-old daughter singing the songs. I mean, my husband was tearing up. So, I really did want to share that with them. But, I'm super grateful that we got to do this. I mean, we actually lost my mother-in-law this summer unexpectedly. So it was a great, great trip. So basically, I kind of sat down with all of them and just said, look, I know y'all trust me in planning this, but I really do want y'all's opinion. Please go online, look at the menus, see if there's anything that catches your eye. Of course, they were like, oh, Nicole, we trust you. It's fine.
Which is a good thing. And not pretty much is a good thing, because you get the cooks in the kitchen, it gets rough.
So, exactly. So I did, Mike, you're making fun of me. I had the 42-page packet. I just kind of copied and pasted a lot of stuff.
The Disney syllabus.
Yeah. And so we decided to stay at Wilderness Lodge, and we did Copper Creek and used DVC points. And we had a studio for my parents and a 2-bedroom for the rest of us. And they, loved it, obviously.
Yeah, if they didn't, you're into a lot of trouble if they didn't like that. Because not many other places to go. Well, Disney World better than that.
And my 2 sister-in-laws, and I asked them if it was okay if I talked about this, because I really think this is useful information. They're plus size, and they watch lots of YouTube videos on. You're gonna laugh, and for audio listeners, sorry, but they're called like poo size rides or something, POOH. So,
no, that's a common phrase in the Disney community. I mean, I've heard that for over a decade. I mean, it's a great resource for folks.
Yeah.
Because you want to know the expectations of what you're getting yourself into.
Exactly. And just in general, one of my sister-in-laws does have a fear of closed spaces. Like, she just wanted to make sure, and you got to do your research. I mean, you don't want to get on something and then that's all you remember, So they did that research, and I was like, that's great. You guys do all that. And my husband decided to have ankle surgery. So we had
I'm sure he wanted to do that. Yeah. God,
it was a previous soccer injury that when you get in your mid-40s,
I hear you. I'm yeah, both knees are talking to me. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So we thought he would be okay, because it was like late November when he had his surgery, but he was still just, you're put in steps that most people don't put in, especially like at Animal Kingdom, where it's real up and down and super hilly. So I rented a scooter, had that ready to go for when we got there. But as far as the planning, the only other crazy thing that we had to kind of deal with was there's 10 of us. So dining reservations were interesting, especially with the limited availability, which is still obviously a problem right now. so my sister-in-law created her My Disney Experience, and she came to my house at 5:30 in the morning at that 60-day mark.
Oh,
and we did 5 and 5. And I was like, okay, my reservation for homecoming is at 5:30. What you got? Okay. She's like, okay, I've got a 6:10. I'm like, okay, done. Like, and we just every day, like I had an order, for the one that would be like most in demand from there. And so that's kind of how we did it. And funny thing was that so at each restaurant, we would send my sister-in-law and my husband up to the hostess stand and be like, okay, there's 5 and 5, 2 reservations, or can you sit us together? Because they're great salesmen. So
that's a great point. Not only should you go up and really kind of butter them up, but also you need to read your party.
mm-hmm.
Who's the best butter upper?
Oh, yeah.
In your party, that's a tip we don't give. We give all those other tips on the listener questions, but you got to decide in your party who's the best and who can schmooze the best.
Oh, yeah. And we're a super close family. So I was like, my husband does he does physician recruiting and stuff. So I was like, okay, Damien, you go there. Ellie going up there. And I mean, a lot of the restaurants were actually really accommodating. Topolino's was the only Topolino's and Homecoming, because the way Homecoming is set up, like bar is in the middle and there's not like a lot of tables, it's more booths. Yep. And so there were some of us actually that sat at the bar, and then then the rest of the party sat at the booth. But and then Topolino's, just because character breakfast, they only have so much space and tables ready and available. So we were separated for that one. But everywhere else, super accommodating. We all were able to sit together. So yeah, I would recommend, if you're having issues getting the bigger parties, which I've seen a lot of that on a lot of the group pages, people complaining just in general about reservations right now, I would definitely try to have a partner in crime, and you guys like figure that out and do it together.
Good that you did that. I mean, that's exactly what we say. Hope you had like a big Starbucks or something at 5:30 in the morning and ready to rock.
Yep.
It's a little stress, but it turns out
stressful.
Here's another tip I want to throw out to people, and I know this sounds kind of harsh, but the thing is, when you're traveling with a large party, it's 60 days out. It sounds like you want to be together 24/7, and you want to have every meal, everybody at the same table. But when it comes down to it, 2 months later, it might be just fine that you're still all at the same restaurant at the same time. It may be okay that you're 3 booths apart. 2 parties. You just decide, the kids are going to sit here, the adults going to sit here. It's gonna, it's 60 days out. You might think it's going to ruin your vacation, and then when you get there, it's 2 months later. It's probably going to be fine.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Even like at Sanal, we weren't at the same table, but we were just right there. I mean, you're spending your whole vacation together, and I think it's important that if you travel in large groups, that especially if it's family, because you love hard, fight hard kind of thing, you just make it very clear that, hey, we want everyone to enjoy this trip. If you feel like going to take a nap, you go take a nap. Like
that's me. Yeah, I'm tapping out for 2 hours. I'll see you. I'll catch you. I'll be on the Skyliner. I'll meet you.
Yeah, you go do you, boo. Like it's fine. So we and that was the nice thing when you stay at a place that has 2 modes of transportation. My dad hopped on that boat back to Wilderness so many times from Magic Kingdom. I mean, and it's easy. No one feels like intimidated by getting lost, or, it's really easy and straightforward. And we did have some free time that people kind of did their own thing. So it all turned out great.
All right, so let's hop it, because I want to make sure, because we got about 20, 25 minutes left. I won't get into the details of the trip. So you guys got there, you flew down Southwest from Hobby, out of Houston, Magical Express, RIP. Oh my gosh, Magical Express goes away this week. But but I love trains. We got this new train bus situation starting in February. I'm all on this thing. I'm almost booking a trip in February just so I can get the conductor hat and ride the train bus. Great. I swear, I think the thing was an Onion article. It was fake, but it looks like it's real. I don't know. I'm all about it.
I'll have to look into that.
I know. It's great. Whatever. I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah.
So, but you guys, so you settled into Copper Creek, but I do want to talk about, you got groceries delivered, use that cast member ear for each other group, which was supporting cast members that were affected by the COVID situation, which I thought was awesome. Jumped over to Geyser Point. So it's smart. Here, I just want to throw this out there. Tip for folks traveling. you don't have to go to a park your first day. Let everybody settle in, like it's less stressful. You're traveling, and that way you're not like, oh my gosh, I have to be in the park by 5:10 to get to Liberty Tree Tavern. Settle
We
in.
never do park the first day. The first time we brought my son, we went to Disney Springs that night, and he was like 6. He was begging. He was like, "Where's the rides? Where's the rides?" And I was like, "I'm sorry, we're doing Magic Kingdom tomorrow."
You're taking him to that train over by.
No, he did the 4-person merry-go-round or whatever.
Look bigger on TV. I'm just saying.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, you travel all day, and we had a really early flight, and it was really cute though, because my son, we got to Wilderness Lodge, and we're kind of waiting around for our room, and everyone's kind of catnapping and making themselves at home, which is so easy to do in that lobby. And my son's like, "Okay, you ready for your tour?" And he would take each of the girls around, and he gave them like a tour and showed them where everything was. And the cast member we had was great. I can't think of her name off the top of my head right now, but got our stuff delivered, like no issues. Just wonderful, because we wanted some grab and go bottled water, which, by the way, the scooters are on point. Like we would freeze a bunch of bottled water and stick it in the scooters.
That's a great idea. I didn't think about the rolling, the rolling locker. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. It was great. And so, and then when our room got ready, we hurried and changed, and then we had boathouse reservations that night, and it was my parents' 40th anniversary, and so they got to celebrate with that big old chocolate cake they have there.
Oh man, the boathouse. Now, and also you mentioned, I got to throw this in there because I've never tried this. Now, I'm the most adventurous eater in my family by far. My family will not eat seafood at all, except for me. I like seafood. But raw oysters, I draw the line. I just can't get past what they look like. And it says your kids tried them. Your son tried them.
Oh yeah, he
was a fan.
He's super bougie. Like, he's gonna be one of those college guys on a champagne taste with a beer pocketbook kind of thing. He loved, He's always like, "I don't want the kids' meal. I want," and I'm like, "Dude,
I got a daughter like that." Yes, the youngest.
So he loved them. And when we go out to eat, like our seafood restaurants here, he wants, oysters. And so, he loved them. He just chugged it down.
Yeah, well, Peter up in Canada, he's in the chat with us. Says oysters are the best. I'll take his word, and more oysters for you, because this guy. I have a kid like that though. My youngest, we were at Target the other night getting wrapping paper or something, and of course, we're in the aisle with the bows, and we're looking for the bag, like the 50 bows for $5, presents. But of course, they had the big bows, right? And so I make the joke that, that's the bow we got to get for your mom, Lexus. When I get your mom her Lexus on Christmas morning, like a commercial, that's the bow we're going to put on it. She's not getting a Lexus on Christmas morning. And no, my daughter did, without even hesitating, is like, "No, that's the bow you're going to put on my 4-door Jeep Wrangler, my white 4-door Jeep Wrangler on my 16th birthday." I'm like, "Kid, you'll be lucky if you get Dad's used Jeep Wrangler. It'll be about 19 years old at that point."
Exactly.
On its last leg, as a used car when you're that age. So you better tamp it down just a bit, kid. She thinks in her wildest dreams she's gonna get something like that. It's not happening. Okay. So let's go to Saturday, the next day. You guys did this kind of photo shoot thing over in the boardwalk area, which you sent me some pictures, man. These are great shots, because actually I was in a wedding. Jay and Melissa, shout out. They're 2 kids doing great. They live in the shadow of Cinderella Castle, right behind the Magic Kingdom right now with their family. They got married, and Ricky was in the wedding. I was in the wedding. They got married right in the same spot. You took all the pictures right there at Seabreeze Point on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
You guys did the pictures. So tell us about that experience.
So our first DVC stay, we decided to get professional pictures done. And so I found this lady, Candy. She's amazing. And so from then on, every stay, I've just gotten her to come out and take pics. Most of the time, it's just the last time we did Polynesian, and I just was like, I just want pictures of the kids. But this time I convinced my family to do this big photo shoot, and which I'm so grateful for now, since especially my mother-in-law's not here with us anymore. But we decided on like a rockabilly theme, kind of subtle, but and it was just super fun. My mother-in-law had like a petticoat underneath. she kind of went extra, but it turned out to be amazing and cute. And there are some great pictures. I think when you're planning a trip, that's probably not something that you want to take time out to do. Like you're like, I only have, 5 days in the park and I want to do, but like this was so important to us. And then we ate breakfast at Trattoria Al Forno after, and then went back to the hotel, changed, and had our Magic Kingdom day after that. And kind of got it out of the way. Like no one was sunburned, looking rough. We had it our first morning there.
Good point.
And it was a beautiful day. And I'd bought some Mickey balloons the night before at Disney Springs, so the kids got to use those in the pictures. But we just cherish those pictures now, and it was super fun. It's just a really fun memory. I'm sure my kids will always say, like, oh, Mom made us do all these photo shoots when we go to Disney every year. But,
you have we all have like snapshots of us on our Disney vacations, but
right.
It's like a step up that you'll remember. And like you said, they're very special now because of your mother-in-law's passing. And, that's a moment that, I'm so glad that you have that picture of y'all together, and they're great because you guys have just the outfits are awesome. I love the one at the spots because again, it's an audio podcast, but you did I really like the one in front of that photo booth right there across from the ice cream shop,
right,
or the bakery there. And just the kids look kind of popping out of the photo booth, and you and your husband. It's a great shot, and the sea breeze point, and the lawn at the boardwalk area there. It's great spots. It's great.
Yeah, and it's an excuse to go for them to see another resort. That was the other thing, is I wanted to, plan things where they could experience the other hotels. That's why we did, breakfast at Riviera, Sanaa at Animal Kingdom Lodge. So trying to plan some of those where it takes us out of the park, where we sit down as a family and have dinner, and those kind of breaks was really important as well.
All right, so let's hop into the parks. You went to the Magic Kingdom after this for that day. So highlights of the Magic Kingdom afternoon.
Well, so the biggest thing is, the cast members make everything. They really do. They love their job. And we were there, they're still doing the cavalcades, and we were kind of in Liberty Square by the Christmas shop, and one of the street sweepers stopped us, and one of my sister-in-laws was holding my daughter, and he was like, hey, sweetie, who's your favorite princess? And I think she said, gosh, I don't, because she changes all the time.
Like my daughter did the same thing. It was like, oh, well, just bought you this.
I think it was Belle. I think she said Belle. And he was like, okay, hold on just a second. And he turned around and got his walkie-talkie out and was talking to someone. And he was like, well, I called them up just for you. He was like, now I think Belle's in this, but he was like, look who's coming to see you. And it was Merida leads the Princess Cavalcade. And it was, my sister-in-law just started crying. She was like, oh my God, it's so magical, and it was like, he basically made this huge deal. Like he called the Princess Cavalcade just for my daughter, and he was just wonderful. I think his name was Mike. And so there's this huge thing we were calling Magic Mike, and, it's really funny. And so it was just, and he told us later, he's like, I always try to find a little girl right before I know the last Princess Cavalcade is about to happen, and, call them up just for her. So that was the biggest highlight, because we were around there. We were about to eat dinner at Liberty Tree Tavern. So, we were able to, but yeah,
that's awesome. That's special. Again, it's a memory. He got to make a memory. It made his day better, I'm sure. When you go home as a cast member and you did something like that for somebody, it's got to make him feel good.
Oh, absolutely.
But you guys are talking about it a year later. That's awesome.
Oh, yes. She still talks about it. Kids these days, they don't forget anything. So she still talks about it. And so, yeah, we did kind of the usual, did Seven Dwarfs. Teacups was broken. My mother-in-law was really bummed about that she couldn't ride teacups. I'm like, you can have teacups. Like, no.
Yeah. When it's broken, I call that a blessing.
Yeah. I'm like, and so we did that, and we were still having to do the mass, the whole time we were there. But pretty just basic Magic Kingdom day. And then the next day we had Animal Kingdom and dinner at Sanaa. And that was our another cast member highlight. A couple of things happened that day, actually. Earlier, my sister-in-law, which Flight of Passage is one of those that they highlight as far as for plus size people. Even if you're not plus size, you could just be like a bodybuilder, and those things that go up around your calves may not lock in.
Right.
And even though you're not going anywhere, I guess it's a safety default kind of thing.
And some people freak out because it just it locks you down. It's almost like Stitch's Great Escape or the Alien Extraterrestrial. It's like the claustrophobia thing. It's like you are locked in, like you are not going. Some people just don't like that. You don't even have an option. Once the thing's like, it's people don't like that. I'm kind of that. I mean, I can deal with it for a little bit, but I'm like, I can't think about it.
And she was the one. She didn't have the claustrophobia thing, but she knew there was a chance that it may not go around her legs, and so. But she stuck it out. We got on and it wouldn't. So we got off and saw her waiting. And she was like, this cast member told me to wait. So I'm going to wait. And we were kind of sitting there. How it's like all those weird hallways right there when you get off. It's kind of empty. There's no one around. We're kind of standing there for about 5 minutes. And I was like, are you sure we're going to just, she's like, she told me to wait. We need to wait for her to come back. And we're like, okay. So we waited. And she was like, I'm so sorry that this ride didn't work out for you. And she gave us 2 for our whole party. She gave us, I think they're called experience passes for like 24 hours. And we could use them on any ride for 2 rides for our whole party. So we had Epcot the next day. So we scored and used that for Test Track and Soarin', and we're able to get right on.
That is good to hear, because that takes a a bad situation and it turns a negative into a positive.
Yeah, I was like, oh, Delia's coming in clutch. Like, yep, And then that night we ate at Sanaa, and of course everyone's like, we still really want to make the dips at home. Like you can get the recipes, and we haven't done it yet, but I'm going to do that. The bread dips. So good.
9 dips, so good.
Yeah. So good. And we had to take a bus back to Magic Kingdom in order to catch our boat to Wilderness, because we had the scooter and just a lot of stuff. And we got on the bus, and it was near closing time, and the bus driver was like, well, are y'all going to Magic Kingdom? And we were like, oh no, we're staying at Copper Creek. We'll catch our boat back. And I was like, unless you just want to bring us back to Wilderness Lodge. And I kind of saw him like look at his time log, and we were the only ones on the bus. And he did. Like I saw us rolling right into, and I was like, that is so nice. And
it never happens, Bobby.
Oh my gosh.
Don't expect that. I'm just
saying. I totally didn't expect it. And honestly, and we even said, like, my mom tried to tip him, and he's like, oh, he would not take it. He's like, Disney has your money. I'm not taking your money. Like, you've already spent enough money.
That's awesome that he said that, but
yes.
that is the truth.
You gotta pick with him. It's those cast member moments that were just really made this trip. I mean, yeah, he did not, that would have cost us probably another 45 minutes if he would not have brought us straight back to Wilderness. Yeah, please don't. I will never expect that, but it was pretty amazing.
And at the end of the night, that's clutch, especially after a meal like Sanaa. Again, double clutch.
And we were at Animal Kingdom. That was a day where we literally were like park open. Like we'd spent all day over there. So everyone
pay $100 to save 45 minutes at that point. I've been there, man. You're Disney tired, man. You're just like, show me my room.
Absolutely. So, yeah. And then we had Flower and Garden Festival the next day. We originally had Garden Grill for dinner, but decided a few weeks prior that we were going to just eat our way around World Showcase instead. And because you're so full after Garden Grill, like I'm not going to eat anything else. And so we got there and the power was out in Future World. It was very strange. I don't know. We all had gone to the restroom, and then it's like my poor dad, he was still in there, and he was like, I had to go to the bathroom, and I'm like, Dad, like the toilets are electric.
Oh my gosh. She's like, well,
He's like,
that's
oh
his
well.
problem. It's not my problem. That's what I
Yep.
had to say.
So so we did the butterfly house, which I don't know that we would have actually done that if the power hadn't have been out. Um, my kids loved it. I mean, it's pretty amazing seeing all the cocoons and um, all the flowers, and you have like butterflies landing on you, um, and then soon after the power came back on, it was really random. I've never been there when like a whole land basically the power was out. Um,
That's weird.
it was very strange because you didn't know it until, because I mean you're outside, so until you get ready to like go inside the land pavilion or something, you had no idea.
Huh.
Yeah,
Got to pay the bills.
it was
Yeah.
very strange. But we made our way around, and like I told you before, I feel like a day late and a dollar short with this because so much has changed with Disney. Like Ratatouille was still being built, those kind of things. I didn't have to deal with Genie Plus or anything like that. But it was really nice. Like we got our macaroon ice cream sandwiches and, tried out all the food booths and just had a pretty chill day. Some people left early, like we talked about, and went back to the hotel. And some of us stayed and had our Dole Whips with rum from Sunshine, one of the restaurant refreshment port, I think, had them that year. And the thing that helped us the most, I think, dealing with the festival is I sent everyone the menus. Everyone kind of like already knew, because really, if you haven't looked at the menus yet, you're kind of wasting a lot of time going, well, I don't know if I want this, or maybe I'll try this at the next one. Like,
because you always think like what's coming up next. Like at least if you know, okay, these are the things that I have to have. Like when I hit this booth, I gotta have it. Like it's not getting any better than this. Yeah.
Yeah, because then you just end up wandering around and you don't want to waste any of that time. But I mean, Epcot's beautiful during Flower and Garden. I mean, gosh, you could just sit and look out where the monorail crosses over that big lake where they have all those like flowers planted. It was a perfect day. So, but yeah, I would say the biggest thing for the festival stuff with any festival is to have a game plan with the food.
That's the point. You don't need a sit down meal, just snack.
No,
I mean,
no.
you're gonna get enough food.
Yeah, yeah. You really
You're
did.
fine. I got to ask you about the next day because this is the day some folks are Universal.
Yep.
Some folks chilled out at the pool. This is the only mistake I see in this whole plan. You went to the character outlet.
I know.
Oh man,
let me just tell you, it was worse than being at Disney.
If I ever get sentenced by a judge, that is where I'll end up, because I went that one day with Scott and I'm like, please get me out of here. I know we were trying to be cheap and get souvenirs for our families. No.
Yeah, I know. It was.
I'm just kidding. That's because I'm not a shopper.
My mom and I got there and it was a 2-hour virtual wait, which I knew there was a wait. Like I knew in my head, but I like didn't want to believe it kind of thing. And so we got there and I was just like, oh man. I called my husband and I was like, we're going to be here longer than I thought. Like, I'm just letting you know. And he's like, okay, whatever. He had Scarlett at the pool. So he was like, I don't care. And my whole goal was to get some bubble wands. I'm a pediatric physical therapist. I just wanted some cheap bubble wands for my kids.
I mean, yeah, stuff's expensive. Yeah,
they didn't have any, of course. No bubble wands.
You're gonna get stuff from like the 2018 Disney Cruise Line Mediterranean sailings. You know, it's crazy. Like I was like, I don't need this. Like I didn't go on that sail.
Yeah. Whatever. But we stuck it out. I was like, we're here. We're just gonna do this. We're here. And yeah, you could find some great deals. $3.99 Mickey ears, those kind of things. You just got to be prepared. And honestly, it's like worse than being in the crowds at Disney. It's crazy. I don't know. That's the only I would look at my mom several times with that, like, why are we doing this to ourselves kind of look, but we stuck it out. Yeah, my two of my sister-in-laws and my son went to Universal that day. So, which it was a really long day for them because they just did one day.
Did they enjoy it though? I mean, would they come back and say?
They did. They said that, entering Universal is way more like hectic than any of the parks at Disney. I haven't been, but and they did people say Disney's expensive. Universal is expensive, like real expensive. Because we didn't obviously stay on property, so they didn't have the park pass. So we paid for the express pass and a 2-park pass. So like one ticket was a good chunk of change. Just for them to have that experience, which for him to spend time with his aunts, totally worth it. They did all the Harry Potter stuff. They all love Harry Potter. I do too. I chose to go to Character Outlet, but whatever.
And Harry Potter or the Character Outlet? I don't even like Harry Potter, but I'm all in. You put me on Green Gods or whatever it is. I don't even care. Give me a box or whatever.
They were just dragging by the end of the day. Like they were wore out. My mother-in-law and one of my other sister-in-law, they did a day at Grand Floridian. They remember eating there. They were literally like in 1989, it had the same carpet. They were like, it looks the same. Funny. Yeah. They ate at the cafe and enjoyed it, and
sign me up for that. Grand Floridian Cafe. Now we're talking.
Yeah. They loved it, and we didn't really have plans that day, and so my sister-in-law got on and was like, "Oh, we can get Elle and Compass tonight. Y'all care if we do that?" And I was like, "No, that's fine."
Yes.
So we did Elle and Compass. Still talk about the kids' meal. They get this huge ice cream cookie at the end of the kids' meal. It's like this. It's huge. It's like the size of my face. That my daughter got to eat. It was delicious. I mean, I know Pam and you guys always talk about, but that truly is a hidden gem of a restaurant. Good food. I know. Good food. Yeah. They have it was easy to get in and literally same day reservation. We got in. And so that's what we did that night. And every night we kind of did late pool night. Those of y'all that have been to Wilderness, we saw like a wild turkey one night on property, and a guy came over and was like, "Yeah, that's not supposed to be here. Like, he's not supposed to be here." We were like, "Oh, well, we just thought it was a part of like, there's rabbits and all sorts of stuff on property." But literally he was a turkey, like by one of the back entrances, side entrances to the lodge. And we still talk about that too. We told our daughter, we're like, "You going to eat that? Do you think we're eating that turkey on Thanksgiving that we saw at Wilderness Lodge?" She's like, "Mom." I was like, "Well, I don't know." But yeah, so we did late pool nights a lot, which was great. Everybody just kind of sat around and drank, and the kids swam. And so that was definitely a relaxing day. You ask my sister-in-law and Asher and all of them that went to Universal, they will say that day was not relaxing, but for the rest of us, it was.
And that's the cool thing about a group vacation. Everybody should be able to do what they like. You know what I'm saying? You Absolutely. Don't have to all have the exact same 100% trip. A lot of the stuff can be the same, go different ways. Yeah. All right, let's get to 2 more days. So you did the studios. Let's talk about that the next day. Start off with Topolino's, it looks like, for breakfast. So how did that go? You kind of mentioned that you had a little trouble getting everybody together over there, but how was the breakfast itself?
Oh, it was great. We love Topolino's. I haven't done dinner there yet. We've only done the breakfast because the characters, the kids love it. And actually that morning we still were having to deal with Rise of the Resistance queue, virtual boarding. And so we all got up, and I warned them the night before. I said, "Guys, if we get an early boarding group, because I'd been like 3 times prior and hadn't got a boarding group. And I said, if we get one, we're going to be up. Like, we have to get up and out the door, because I think our reservation to lose was like at 10. So I was like, I knew we'd have enough time, but it was cutting it close. I mean, and sure enough, I got like boarding group 7.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But there was like 6 of us on the balcony, like trying to get it. So, and I happened to get it. So I was like, sound the alarm, everyone get up, like, got to get rolling. Got there, did Rise of the Resistance. Actually had more time. Mickey and Minnie's was only like a 20-minute wait or something, because we'd gotten there early, got in line for that, did Mickey and Minnie's, and then hauled it to the Skyliner. And so got on the Skyliner and got to Caribbean Beach. And of course, that's when everyone's trying to get to the park. So it was like that was the one thing I was not prepared for, that it was literally like a 40-minute wait. And I was like, we don't have 40 minutes. Like, point me the direction where the walking path is. And so they did. And everyone laughs now, but I know they were mad at me that morning because I was running, like literally running, because I was like, somebody has to be there to say we're here. And so my husband, I think he said he literally had on the scooters, it's like turtle and a rabbit, like on the little like I literally had that thing punched out.
It's like John Deere that I cut the grass with. It's usually on a rabbit.
I mean, I was booking it. I mean, I was sweating to get there. And so we got there, thank goodness. But I wasn't expecting the Skyliner line to be as long as it was, just because it moves so fast.
Yeah.
And I just thought we had more time. Like, but you know, we learned our lesson and we got there. And yeah, it was great. I mean, I think if you're looking for a unique character experience, Topolino's is definitely, just because they're in unique outfits. And I love Daisy in her ballerina outfit. They just all look amazing. And even though it's still socially distanced, they're still really interactive. And the food is, I mean, I think I'm on vacation. So, whatever it costs, I know some people are like, I don't want to pay that much for, waffles and eggs. But if you still have little ones, it's so fun, even if you don't,
Yep. It's vacation. I get it. Yeah. I mean,
it's vacation.
And it's the whole experience, it's not just waffles and eggs. It's the entire, you're visiting the Riviera, you're on top of the hotel, you got the views, you got the characters, it's the whole thing.
Yes. And it was perfect weather the week we were there. So we got some great pics, and I love the Riviera. I love the way it smells. I love the way it feels.
Right, because it smells fancy. I don't know what fancy smells like, but it's the Riviera.
It does smell fancy. Yeah. Yes. And the kids played some games outside while we were kind of just messing around and playing like cornhole and stuff. So, yeah, it was a great time. And then we got back to the studios, and again, that afternoon, some people left early. A couple of us got on Tower Terror. My mother-in-law and my sister-in-law got on Rock and Roller Coaster and had a great time. My mother-in-law rode all the roller coasters, loves them. And kind of just finished out the evening. I think that night we did Roaring Fork by the pool, and nice. Yeah, hung out. And then the last day we hit up Magic Kingdom again. My husband was kind of bummed I didn't book 2 days at Hollywood because that's his favorite park. But I was like, your family hasn't been since, 1989. We have to do Magic Kingdom again. Like, you have to.
That's true. That makes it. Yeah. I get where your husband's coming from, but you got to
he loves Hollywood.
Yeah, I get it. But you guys, so you started, now the Wave's gone. That's where you had breakfast that day. So RIP the Wave, Steakhouse 71. Favorite now.
We've had Tim before. We loved Tim.
Yeah, shout out to Tim. Yes, saw his awesome picture on
Facebook
days ago. Yes, over at the Wilderness Lodge. Speaking of Wilderness Lodge.
Tim, he was at the Wave.
Oh, yeah. Well, he was our waiter over at Steakhouse 71 too. We were on there.
Yeah.
Great.
But so yeah, we started out with breakfast there, which can't go wrong with breakfast there. I even think now, I haven't got to try Steakhouse 71, but I'm looking forward to the next time I go. And then same thing, just everyone kind of did a little bit together at Magic Kingdom. And then some people went shopping and some people did more rides. I think a few of us went and did Space Mountain and kind of did Tomorrowland. And then we had my sister-in-law birthday dinner at Homecoming that night. So.
And that was how you wrapped up the trip, was Disney Springs and Homecoming?
Yes. Yeah.
God, that's a great way to wrap up the trip at Homecoming. So, and your sister's birthday. So, I mean, did that meal meet everybody's expectations?
Yeah.
I gotta ask, because you're from Texas and that's Southern food. I think it's more like Southeastern. Well, maybe it's Texas. I don't know. He's from Florida.
Southern Mississippi, Alabama. Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what I say. I call that, because now that we're in the SEC in Missouri, I consider us the South. That's how I justify where I live.
Yeah, we're like 30 minutes from the beach, so we're pretty Southern.
You're way more Southern than St. Louis. I can tell you that.
But yeah, so we at first it was kind of disappointing because we couldn't sit together like I talked about at the beginning. Me and my husband and my parents sat at the bar actually. And then, which shout out to that bartender. His name's Grant. If anybody knows Grant, he's amazing. My mom really likes him. We joke about how much she tipped him that night. But I think, she had a good time. And then, but they sat in the booth right behind us. And so they were right there. And it was, the manager was super accommodating and great food, great drinks. And that's kind of how we wrapped it up. But it was.
Did you guys come home with any of the moonshine squirt bottles?
No, I didn't. I love moonshine, but I didn't get any that time.
Yeah, that's Hannah Forrester's thing. She bought one like 3 years ago. She has gotten her money's worth out of that thing. I only had moonshine once, and it was there, and that stuff was so hot. I swore like it wasn't moonshine because I'm not a drinker really. And I mean, it was like it had to have been like what drinking jet fuel tastes like because that stuff burned me. I mean, all the way down. I was like, I am not drinking this stuff again. It's too hot. Too hot.
Yeah. So I look back and there's definitely things that I feel like we probably could have done a little different, but you learn every trip you go. And of course they're begging to go back already. It's those cast member things. It's those times at the restaurants, all those, impromptu things that you weren't expecting, like the Ellen Compass dinner. Everybody loves the rides and stuff, but you love those little special moments too.
That's right. Well, it sounds like a great trip. I mean, I loved all the stories because the stories are really what brings a trip together and make the memories. So before we jump out of here, what's on the horizon for the next trip? Everybody's asking, maybe you're just going to go with your family. Maybe you're taking the whole crew again. What do you have planned either on the books or something you're just kind of dreaming about happening?
So my husband and I are actually, our 15-year anniversary is next year. And so we have a cruise booked at the end of February. And we're going to do 2 days before I got Port Orleans French Quarter, which I haven't been there since I stayed at Dixie Landing. So it'll be fun to be around there again.
Newly refurbished rooms over at French Quarter too. You'll enjoy those.
And so we have that, which my son is like, I can't believe y'all are doing it. I'm like, look, you're not going on this one. We've never done a cruise. And so I'm really excited about that. Actually just booked Palo and stuff for the night of our anniversary. So, we have that one. And then we also have, since we took such a large trip with the family, we're DVC broke and don't have any more points. But we booked a trip right at the end of May, with my parents travel with us a lot. And so they decided to go ahead and just book a trip. And I don't think my kids are watching this or anything right now. So they're getting it on Christmas. So and we're staying at Pop for like 7 days, the week before Memorial Day, because my kids get out of school like May 21st, and we're leaving like the 20th. So
nice.
Yeah.
Wow, what a nice gift. No, I can just tell from this trip report, you are so in trouble with that cruise. That's going to be another addiction.
I know.
You're already doing it right. 50th anniversary, your dinner at Palo. Oh my God, you're done. I'm just saying. I mean, you're done in a good way because you're going to be addicted. Because the Disney Cruise Line is just take a Walt Disney World vacation and take all the best parts of it. Where you take all the work out of the Walt Disney World part. All the best parts is what a Disney cruise is.
We had a married time cruise planned, and then COVID hit, and out of Galveston about a year ago, and so we didn't do that trip. So I'm looking forward to it. And we've never actually cruised. I mean, we live like 40 minutes from Galveston.
Yeah, look at that.
And we've never, I know. And now I'm like, we got to do a Disney cruise. Like, I'm not going to do anything else. So we, my husband was just like, whatever you want to do, that's fine. I was like, okay.
Yeah, if they brought one of the ships like up here to St. Louis and parked it under the arch, man, I'd be cruising all the time. You got the boats every once in a while right out of Galveston.
But I really want to do Castaway Key, and I didn't want to do like a 7-night quite yet. So it's a 4-night. But I'm going to get my Disney Springs in before we go.
Yeah, you'll love it. I can't wait. You got to let me know what you think about it when you get back.
I will, for sure.
All right. Well, hey, Nicole, happy New Year. Happy 2022. Thanks for coming on.
New Year.
Had a great trip report. And I just wish you all the best in the new year, and congratulations
you.
on 15 years. We just celebrated 15 years ourselves this past year. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Thank you. All right. Don't forget, today's show is brought to you by the Magic for Less Travel. Check them out for your Disney trip planning needs. And thank you to everyone who booked with us in 2021. It was a banner year, even though we had some, challenges in travel. You guys stuck with us, and we cannot thank you enough for that. We did the best we could, and it was amazing. And just thank you for your support in 2021. And we're going to move into 2022 and get everybody out there, and just hope that 2022 is an amazing year for all of us. Let's turn the corner on all this. Let's all hope for the best and make this an amazing year. Yeah, we said that in 21. It was going good. And then 2022, hopefully it's even better. So let's just hope for that. But again, for your next trip over to any Disney destination, Adventures by Disney, Disney Cruise Line, Disneyland, Walt Disney World, just drop by themagicforless.com. Also, please use our Amazon affiliate link as you shop online. We sure appreciate that. beourguestpodcast.com/Amazon. And thank you to our patrons who support the show over on Patreon. You get a bonus show if you do that. It's called Mike in the Midwest. It comes out once a week. To support the show on Patreon, just visit patreon.com/beourguestpodcast. Give us a follow on the social media, Instagram and Twitter at beourguestmike. Subscribe to the show on Facebook and YouTube. And if you don't mind, give us a rating and a review wherever you download the show, whether it's Pocket Cast, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio. That really helps us out. And one thing that really does help us out is if you subscribe to the show. Not only do you get the show automatically as soon as it publishes each evening when I put that out, but also a lot of the podcatchers and the ratings and all that go by subscription. So if you don't mind, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out, and those ratings and review do as well. All right, we're going to get out of here and let you get on with your Monday. I know it's probably a crazy week. Maybe you're off work, off school. Maybe you're still working like I am, like a lot of folks are out there getting the job done. Whatever you're doing, I hope you're having fun with your friends and family. You're having some time to just relax and enjoy the season as it continues on here as we close out 2021. So whatever you're doing, stay safe, stay healthy. For Nicole, I'm Mike, wishing you a very happy new year. We'll catch you again on Wednesday, and we'll see you real soon. All righty. That was a fun show because that was all stories. That's what I love. Let me save this.
Yeah, I will talk a lot.
No, that's good. That was a fun show. Let me save this real quick. Episode. I'm always scared I'll lose the show. Let's see. It was 2015. And there's no edits, which is even better so I can eat dinner sooner. Love it. Army or Mizzou? It's probably going to be Army, but my heart says Mizzou. Army, wait, I hate it because everybody's opting out, running back up. Anyway, well, hey, Nicole, I appreciate the time, and Merry Christmas to you and your squad down there. And if you ever need anything, you give me a yell. And let's talk when you get back.
For sure. I appreciate it so much. Like, I was so excited when you responded back. I know it sounds cheesy, but I'm super grateful for you guys, and I was really happy to be a part of the show.
Oh, hey, I appreciate it. And thanks for taking care of the kids. You know, as a teacher, and that means a lot to me. I know you're like hands-on with them and doing some real work. So, and I know it's not easy. So thanks for what you do. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. Take care. See you later.
Bye-bye.